Hello! So this video, which I'm about to film, is currently about 7 AM here in India, in Himachal Pradesh. The birds are going to be going off, like the morning is their time of day. At dusk and at dawn, they are so active. There's dogs going off as well somewhere in the distance. This video has taken a few days to write the script for because it's so hard to put into words an experience and like a mini self-revolution. My life completely, entirely transformed and transcended through the power of a spiritual awakening. The lens that I looked through life with looked entirely different. Like I've been experiencing the same world for my 23 years of life, but somehow when your mindset changes and your mental landscape, your mindscape shifts, your entire external world shifts with it. And so everything seems different, feels different, looks different, because you're focusing on different things. You know, you have the power to change that personal perception you experience of your reality. It doesn't have to be the way you're experiencing it now, the way you're perceiving it now. It can look and feel completely different. So when I talk about spiritual awakening, what I'm referring to is this reconnecting with the dimension of pure awareness. It's this sense of a sacred place beneath the thinking mind, beneath the content of the mind, where the blank screen of consciousness or pure awareness is, that is the same within each of us, the same within every living being, beneath the senses that we experience. Us as Homo sapiens, we have our 5 senses. Other species out there have senses we can't even comprehend, like echolocation in, certain whales, and there's a whole array, heat perception, a whole array of senses that we do not view life through. Beneath these senses, there is this core life force energy and this core awareness beneath the content of our minds. And it's reaching that place that can truly transcend you in your life to new heights that you can't even begin to imagine. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So when we awake in the morning, when we physically awaken every single morning, if we're fortunate enough, that is, to have another day here on earth, we feel that we are completely conscious. We're awake, we're experiencing our reality again from our unconscious sleep state. And this is true. We are experiencing reality in our conscious, most interactive state. But that is not to say that you are entirely present or you are entirely aware. And this is because the content that is flying around our mind, for some more than others, but we all have it. We all have the thoughts. We all have the stream of thoughts, even the feelings and emotions, that we feel in our body, in our gut, in our heart. And so that blank screen, that pure consciousness itself, we don't experience wholly and entirely. During our sleep, our mind is storing so much data and information into our subconscious. The thing is, because we are seemingly unconscious, as we know, the self, we aren't really sure of what's going on. We aren't really sure of the information that's being stored into our subconscious, which then later affects, our entire lives and our future by the way that we feel and what we attract in our life. Because during sleep, we rejoin with that consciousness. During our wakeful state too, our conscious state, we can access this too. And the benefit of this, the amazing, unbelievable thing with accessing it when you're conscious, is that you can receive, you can realize, and you can remember all of that important information that you require to go on and move forward with your life and manifest all that you desire, or defeat any conditioning from your past that is holding you back and limiting yourself. Okay, so meditation, as many people know now, it's very kind of world renowned, and there's a reason for that. Meditation, was first practiced over 2,000 years ago. It's this reconnecting with this inner spacious consciousness inside. The beauty of that is that consciousness itself is the place where all of the secrets, the wisdom, and the potential of the universe resides. Everything, all the ideas that all of the biggest innovators have been struck with, all of the creatives that expressed their most intuitive art. And so using meditation as a practice or ritual, you can bridge this gap between thought and thought, the content that's within your mind, so that there's this space between each thought. And as you continue to do this consistently, the spaces between the thoughts get bigger and bigger over time, to the point where you can go, a length of time without even noticing because you're not thinking. And that seems kind of simple, but you don't even realize how many thoughts are flying through your mind every day, congesting it, making you feel stressed, making you feel anxious or depressed. And when there's no thoughts, there's no self to identify with anymore. And so when you bridge this gap, you're surpassing your thinking mind and accessing and reaching this plane of infinite consciousness, where everything that you desire in life lives, and your highest self lives. If you're scientifically inclined, then you can reach mentally this higher state of mind, or I like to think of it as a spiritual dimension that is the dimension of pure awareness or consciousness. Your sense of self, it kind of feels like it perishes into thin air, along with your thoughts, your ego, and your past, and all of which arise from the self and ultimately makes up the entirety of this self. This is the greatest illusion of life, because life, or the world, it can only be perceived by a perceiver, or existence can only be experienced by an experiencer, and ultimately both of which come purely from the self, live entirely within its consciousness. Without you here, without any being here to experience this world as we know it, would it exist? If it's not being experienced, if there's no consciousness to experience it. Therefore, is it the case that all of existence only a reality because of the experiencer, the self? And what I'm talking about here is the subject and the object. The subject being the self, and the object being the world. The thing is, the truth is, that both are actually one undivided, non-dual reality that are inseparable to one another. It's just that this self, your self, feels as though it independently exists from everything else. And this is half of the truth. Because it's true that you are one unique, impermanent part of the whole. Death makes us believe that we are separate, because we are not timeless, like time itself, like consciousness itself. The truth of the matter is that we are all consciousness, just experiencing a self through an impermanent vessel. And this is so that consciousness can experience itself through the perspectives of many selves. And without this entity in your mentality, as in this self, that you believe to be, during certain practices like meditation and other ones I'll talk about, when this ego, this self has diminished, you feel and you realize that there's so much space within, this spacious consciousness that you can access. It feels so euphoric. It's not even so much a feeling like an emotion or like a feeling as we know them, because it's this full body, like the only way to describe it is a feeling, but it's unlike any feeling I've ever experienced. It's this hugely intense, beyond words, feeling of aliveness and oneness, and also gratitude for feeling that, and for feeling anything at all, for simply being. Like there is this awareness for being alone without all of the doing and the doings of the analytical thinking mind. This being deep within, this pure awareness that is consciousness. And it's strangely orgasmic, yet not sexual at all. It feels that good that you would compare it to an orgasm. Although, like I say, not sexual, and it doesn't come and arise from the same place. The essence of this source, from which all selves are derived, is where the purest love, joy, creativity is born. It's why we love and we cherish our relationships, creations, art expressions, and experiences above all else, because that is the reasoning for existence, because existence is made up of this consciousness. And so all of those things are in abundance. All of that joy, happiness, creativity, love, it's all within consciousness, and it's all accessible to you. And you can empower yourself by reaching this plane of consciousness to reap those beautiful, juicy emotions that we all deserve. This is all accessible when silencing the self to allow the source to come forth and reveal its spacious consciousness and all of the potential that comes along with that. So another ritual or practice is movement of the body after physically awakening each morning. This is not only so beneficial to energize your body and your mind for the rest of the day, but it's also such a great way of unblocking stagnant energy that's stored within you. And for me, I use dance as a means to move my body and to move the energy around my body. And it's kind of like, I've never done Tai Chi. What I've seen of Tai Chi, it kind of looks similar and is a similar concept, because there's no set structured routine for me. I just simply move my body in a way that feels good and intuitive as each moment unfolds, each moment of time. So I'm literally catching rays right now as I speak. And so after connecting with the source, with consciousness itself through these mediums, it's now time to create, take all those realizations and those downloads that you got from connecting with the source and, bringing them into your physical reality with yourself. And this is where the beauty of a self comes in, because we can create, our reality and our external environment. And creation is a pillar of existence, and it's part of the reason that we are here as selves experiencing it. Everything that we do as humans is creation. Businesses, curriculums, art expressions, constructions, inventions, everything. All that is man-made was once a thought in time from a self, sourced from the timeless spaciousness of consciousness. And for me personally, I love to write and to film. As humans, the ultimate human endeavor is creation and art itself. Go out and express and create. Your life will feel so much more purposeful and meaningful, because we are all unique. Even though I've done this whole talk about how we are all one and we're all interconnected, but it's also true that you are a unique individual, a self that is one part of this ultimate whole of consciousness. That's the beauty of it, because you are unlike anyone else right now, and anyone else that will ever live and has ever lived. And so go out and express yourself. Go out and express your art and your creation and your expression and what you feel and hear in that spacious place that you can access. And your life will transform, because it transformed mine. These moments of time where I rejoin with this consciousness and this sacred state of the source acted as a kind of medicine for me over the last few years. Once upon a time, only 2.5 years ago or so, I was riddled with chronic anxiety, panic disorder, along with an array of physical symptoms and many, many negative emotions, made life feel like hell on earth. And now I am so fortunate and grateful to say that my spiritual awakenings enabled me to overcome all my mental health issues, allowed me to see life through awakened eyes and experience everyday life as enlightening. And so yes, that wraps up this video. It's probably quite a long one, but I have so much to talk about on this topic. And so yeah, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching, and if you made it through to the end, I hope you received this video well, and I'm so grateful for you being here.